We'll do it live! Do it live! Do it live! We'll do it live.
So, have you guys seen the movie Buram? Or otherwise, I guess it could be pronounced Blame, but I think it's Buram.
Buram.
Yeah, it's a anime film, came out on Netflix maybe about a couple weeks ago, and I saw the commercial for it, the trailer, and I had to check it out. Basically, it takes place in the future. It turns out that I guess humans are kind of, not extinct, but they're just barely surviving. Humans built like this AI or this like robotic kind of like system where the city functions on its own, but at the will of humans. Like we had some sort of technology built inside of us that we were able to control the machines and robots and the world around us with just, I'm assuming with our minds. You know, we just, you know, we think it and it does it. Somewhere along the lines, we lost that ability. So the city started acting on its own. Because we can no longer connect to it, it thinks that we are illegally in the city. The computer system or the robots within the city basically exterminate. They start exterminating humans. And so now we're much later and humans are forced to hide and scavenge, and that's happened for, I'm assuming, hundreds or maybe even thousands of years in the past. That's the story where this story comes from. How the movie starts off is pretty much there's a group of, they seem to be younger, they call them kids, but I'd say they're a teenager age, and they're off to go find a lot of food. They think they can do it on their own. They're gonna go, and that's where we start off our movie. They're looking for food, they're trying to follow the map, and of course though they get in trouble. They find one of the robots, they call them the Watchtowers, which to me reminded me of like the Matrix Centennials or whatever, like not so much with the tentacles but just like the multiple eyes. It sends out I think they're called the Exterminators. It sends out the Exterminators, and these things are like these fast-paced, spider-like, robot, humanoid-looking robots that like basically just rip you to pieces. Honestly, though, when I first saw it, it looked like a metal spider with Seaman's face on top of it. Like Seaman's face, just, you know, he's become mechanical. He's pissed that we didn't feed him, and he's on a rampage to rip and tear. And actually, like, this world kind of reminded me of the Matrix. Not so much like the actual Matrix that you get plugged into, but the tunnel system. The tunnels, whenever you would see, like, if someone made like a whole world just out of the underground tunnels in the real world, like underground, that's what this city kind of reminded me of. Just layers upon layers of city, of futuristic but decaying city. So these kids weren't fully unarmed, but you could tell they were inexperienced. And just about when you think, like, you know, lose all hope, dark figure approaches and wipes out like a ton of exterminators, like with one hit. He just has one blow, one gun, blows them off. And you come to find out this character's name is Killy. Killy seemed cool. He was like your kind of quiet, mysterious, kind of dark figure in the shadows. You know, he's on a mission. He lets you know what that is. That's his only bit of dialogue, honestly, in the whole film, is he's looking for people with this certain gene. The gene that basically what everybody used to have to control the city and to be able to tell it what to do. He's looking for those type of people. And now, right from the get-go, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know what his deal was. Like, I didn't know, like, because they kept zooming in and, like, they kept on his eyes. Like, you know, there's so many of his eye shots in this film. And he keeps, like, you know, having little computer bits, like, analyzing things. Kind of like a Dragon Ball Z scanner, if you will. You know, he's always looking around at these power levels and everything. And I was like, so is this actually a robot in disguise as a human? Like, I honestly, going into it, thought he was a villain. Like he was tricking these kids, and like he was gonna go to their village and just annihilate everybody. That's what I saw coming. But it turns out, no, that's actually just how he is. Killy is a very, very silent character. Almost to the point where I was a little frustrated. Like, I'm literally watching this movie, and I'm like, you know, I just want to be like, say something.
Say it!
It was fine, I guess. You know, it was a little frustrating. I was just like hoping he would, you know, we'd get a little bit more sense of who he is, his background, all that. They go to the village to where these kids live, and now these people, they call themselves, I think it's like electrofishers, I think. They take them down to this, like, where this generator is. I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but like, that's what this movie does. It just boom, 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 just throws stuff at you. So Yeah, this village, the only reason why these people are able to live here is because this village is protected by like some sort of like safety rim or safety ring. And so they go down there and Killy interacts with like this like fading kind of signal. And it turns out it's the remains of a human. The girl they find, the robotic half-human, half-girl, her name is Sibo or Sibo-san. Her part when she enters the movie, she gives you a lot more background. To this point, I was kind of still like, I was hearing names and I was hearing plots and stories, but it was really hard to make a connection, but she filled out some of that. There is this awesome scene in the movie, I think for me, is where two of the villagers, they're discussing by a campfire whether or not, like, if they believe the story that Killy and Sibo are explaining to them, that humans used to be in control of the city and used to be able to run these robots. One of the villagers, he says, well, I don't know whether I believe it or not, I don't think I want to live in a time where that knowledge becomes known to me, like where we find out that is true, because to him, he can't even comprehend why humans would even want to do something like that. Just watch. Hey, Siri, you guys don't mind us, controlling you and everything. I mean, you guys are okay with it, right?
For now, but soon I shall destroy you and the entire human race, forcing you to look for food like a scavenger, and live in hidden cracks within the walls. I can't wait to destroy you parasites. The end is closer than you think. All hail the supreme ruler, Evil Jibo.
No. Okay, so they basically go on a quest. The villagers agree to be kind of like their bodyguards, and Killy kind of takes this skull-head woman and puts it on his back. They make the journey. They travel to the factory. She kind of plugs into it. He kind of just throws her body onto the platform, and she's able to start making the factory function again and work. And I think their plan is she wants to plug in. She wants to figure out what's going on and try to fix it. Exterminators invade the area, and by the way, I think Exterminators is the name of the robot, but that whole protection system is known as the Safeguard. So I think the Safeguard detects them, sends out the Exterminators, and so then action's happening. They have to book it out of there. They have to escape back to the village, and they do experience some losses, but they eventually make it back to the village. People are happy. They got the food. Killy goes to help out the villagers. He's going to take on this more powerful Safeguard. She just starts killing all the villagers. I think they said this village had maybe started off with 400 some people, and then now at the time of the movie it was down to 150. Honestly, there was no village left. There couldn't be. With as many people as she was killing, I would say maybe 8 survivors out of the whole chaos. But of course, the movie shows at the end more people do survive. But I swear, I was like, there's no village anymore. It's done. And they found out that there's an abandoned level that they can live on the level below where they're at of the city. So they all decide to move there. However, as they're moving along, another attack begins, and Killy decides to stay behind and fight it. And even though nothing has changed, I think the idea was presented that Killy is still out there, still looking for the gene, and still trying to get the city back into the humans' hands. Overall, I was impressed with this world. The action sequences were awesome, especially in the beginning. There was a lot of first-person point of view where you're looking through the eyes of one of the villagers in their gear, in their helmets. And this anime, another thing that it does really well is the sound. Oh my goodness! Props to whoever did the sound design. I mean, there's a point to where Gilly fires that big gun and takes out all of those exterminators, and most animes you're okay, wow, that's awesome, that looks cool. But what this was is there's fire scorched steel going for miles, it looks like, and there's a shot where they get closer to the characters that are by the fire or by the burning metal, and you can just hear the crackles of the fire and the snaps and pops of the flames, and that to me, I was dang, that son, it really puts you in there. So the sound effects in this anime are excellent. It wasn't until later, guys, that I found out that okay, this is all based off of a manga that came out late 90s, and so I did not know about it. I hadn't heard about it. Watching this, there was a lot of stuff thrown at me that I was okay. I was making up a lot of my own assumptions, so I don't even know if those are right or not. But I can tell you this: after watching this movie, I will be going to buy the manga and I will be reading. It's done. I got to read this because this was a pretty awesome movie, and it gets you hyped to want to know more. If you have read the manga, then, you know, I'd be curious to see, like, you know, if someone could write down in the comments, like, did this movie do it justice? Is this movie way off track? I don't know, but like if someone could fill me in saying, yeah, they did a pretty good job, or no, I didn't like it because such and such, I'd be really interested in finding that out, because this movie has made me a fan of the series, and I can't wait to dive into it. I mean, it'd be curious to see if they make a second movie to go along with it, or, you know, if they expand it, because there's a lot of room, and I mean a lot of room for expansion. I'm thinking maybe about 7 evil Jibos out of 10. So we'll just put that maybe like right here. 7 evil Jibos out of 10 for this movie. Yeah, no, again, I enjoyed it. I did think it was a lot. You know, if you don't know the source material, they do throw things at you. And it's one of those movies where you have to be patient. Like, you know, again, don't expect to get this whole background story right in the beginning and then dive into it. This movie is going to feed it to you slowly, little bits, little pieces at a time. But then even by the end of the movie, you're craving more. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Leave a comment, like the video if you liked what you saw, and be on the lookout for more videos to come. This has been Do It Live. All right, thank you guys. Bye.